13 rebound performance. Also adds 3 blocks and a steal to that. Big game. 10 for 20 from the field. 3 for 7 from downtown for him in 42 minutes of play. Big, long game there for Joel Embiid. Unfortunately, not enough from a good majority of his teammates here. Ben Simmons does finish with 20 points in 44 minutes, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and Jimmy Butler with 18 points on 5 of 12 shooting in 39 minutes. Landry Shamet in what will be his last game for the Philadelphia 76ers, 6 points in 34 minutes. All right, to Memphis, another team here talking about the trade possibilities. They beat the Minnesota Timberwolves 108-106 at home in what was a damn nice game. They are led by, surprise, surprise, Mike Conley, 25 points and 9 assists, 6 for 11 from downtown for Mike Conley. Big game there. Just Jaren Jackson Jr., 23 points, 4 for 7 from downtown, also in 38 minutes. And Gasol didn't play. They listed as rest for him. Still get the victory. Justin Holiday adds 17 points also in the starting lineup. For the Minnesota Timberwolves, they're led by Karl Anthony Towns, 26 point, 18 rebound performance. 8 for 14 shooting for him. And Dario Saric off the bench, 22 point, 7 rebound, 5 assists off the bench, 7 for 11 shooting, 4 for 7 from downtown. Luol Deng, too, Lakers contract there off the bench, 18 points in 22 minutes on 8 for 10 shooting. All right, 2 more games to talk about here. We have, in Oklahoma City, the Thunder beat the Orlando Magic 132-122. Westbrook's 7th straight triple-double. Going back to two seasons ago, Russell Westbrook is what it's looking like here. He finishes with 16 points, 16 assists, and 15 rebounds. That's not even a 10-10-10. I mean, that's a 15-plus every statistic triple-double for him. Just 5 for 14 shooting to get the 16 points, but obviously does a lot of other stuff for you. Paul George, another monster night, 39 points and 8 rebounds, 6 for 15 from downtown in 36 minutes. And then off the bench, Dennis Schroeder, 20 points, 2 for 2 from downtown on 9 for 15 shooting in the victory. In the loss, the Orlando Magic are led by Terrence Ross off the bench, 26 points in 26 minutes, and Evan Fournier, 25 point, 5 rebound, 5 assist night in 35 minutes from the starting point guard position. Aaron Gordon adds 18 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds in 36 minutes, and Vucevic with 17 points and 9 rebounds in the loss. And the final game from last night, we had a little bit of an upset. The Miami Heat traveled to Portland and beat the Portland Trail Blazers 118-108. Hassan Whiteside, of all people, I love Whiteside, but he has not been playing well as of recently. 28 points, 11 rebounds, 11 for 12 shooting. It's like 94% or something like that. Adds 4 steals and 2 blocks. Whiteside with 4 steals and 2 blocks to add to that. Fantastic game there. Dwayne Wade with 22 points and 9 rebounds off the bench in 29 minutes. And 18 points for Josh Richardson in the starting lineup on just 6 for 9 shooting. For the Portland Trail Blazers in the loss, they're led by C.J. McCollum with a 33-point night, 7 for 14 from downtown. Damian Lillard with just 13 points and 10 assists on 2 for 10 from downtown. Terrible shooting night for Damian Lillard. Definitely not something that's normal. And Jake Layman off of the bench in 33 minutes for the Blazers, 25 points and 8 rebounds in the loss. Okay, that's enough for last night. Let's move into tonight. I'm sure that most of the day is going to be talking about, or revolved around talking about, Anthony Davis and or trade speculations, but we do have some games to play tonight. Alrighty, to the first game of the evening, we have 5:30 p.m. in Brooklyn. The Denver Nuggets taking on the Brooklyn Nets. Both of them have a little bit of an injury hardship, it says here. Let's take a look. Jamal Murray and Gary Harris are both going to be out for sure of the game for the Denver Nuggets. Paul Millsap is questionable. And then for the Brooklyn Nets, Jared Dudley, Allen Crabbe, and Caris LeVert all out on there. And Caris LeVert, I guess, is close to being back to 5-on-5 practices right now, which means that he could be back with the team in as little as, I think, 2 or 3 weeks if everything kind of pans out properly here. Denver Nuggets are going to be favored by 3 on the road, and ESPN's BPI has given them a 59% chance of winning the game. All right, that's the only 5:30. Now we go to 6 o'clock. The New Orleans Pelicans head to Chicago to take on the Chicago Bulls. Chicago is going to be a 1.5-point favorite here, but the BPI has New Orleans listed at a 68% chance to win the game. I kind of agree with that. I'm not sure. Yeah, Anthony Davis is going to be out. Julius Randle is going to be out. Mirotic, Elfrid Payton, and Etuan Moore are all going to be out. We're going to be looking at the same Jrue Holiday, Jahlil Okafor, New Orleans Pelicans team that we've seen for the last 4 or 5 days. I'm reading right here that they're saying Anthony Davis might play. I would not count on that at all. I think that in the midst of this whole trade situation, they're going to rest him just in case anything happens. They obviously don't need the win here. And then everybody for the Chicago Bulls is either good or questionable for the game. Wayne Selden, Ryan Arcidiacono, and Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot are all questionable for the game. None of them are the biggest names there. Like I said, Chicago a 1.5-point favorite, but ESPN likes New Orleans at a 68% clip on this one. All right, to ESPN, we have what should have been a good game at the beginning of the year, and maybe they should have flexed out of this right now. The Washington Wizards heading to Milwaukee to take on the Milwaukee Bucks. The Wizards have been playing absolutely terrible as of late. We all know that. Giannis Antetokounmpo shooting 57% on the season, 26.7 points. The best player in the Eastern Conference right now, he is. And then I actually just saw this. Just surfaced yesterday that John Wall apparently, while already dealing with the bone spur issue or injury that was keeping him out for the entire season, slipped in his house and ruptured his Achilles tendon. And will be out for the next 12 months because of that. So that happened after he was already injured. The original injury that was keeping him out for the entire season, this was a secondary injury where he slipped just the other day in his house, rupturing his Achilles tendon. I actually think it was January 8th, and the news just came out yesterday. But really bad news for Wizards fans there. They owe him $37 million for next season, and that goes up to, I think, $45 or $46 million for the season 4 years from now. And, God willing, he's going to be able to make a comeback and be close to the same player. I mean, he was pretty much the most explosive player in the NBA. But big loss there for the Washington Wizards. Nothing going right for him this season except for Bradley Beal playing okay. They're going to be without John Wall. Luckily, that'll be the only injury that they have for this game. And the Bucks are going to be without Dante DiVincenzo, and Jason Smith is going to be questionable for the game. Milwaukee favored by 12 points on ESPN, and ESPN gives them an 88% chance to win the game. To Dallas, everybody's new favorite team. The Charlotte Hornets, fresh off that home loss last night to the Los Angeles Clippers, back-to-back tonight in Dallas, 6:30. Yeah, okay, 6:30 p.m. is going to be the game. Dallas is going to have their full roster, minus Kristaps Porzingis. He has not been added to the official roster yet. He's still an injured reserve or whatever. And then Tony Parker is going to be day-to-day. He might miss this game against the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas is going to be favored by 5.5 points, and ESPN has them at a 72% chance of winning the game in this one. All right, to Utah. We have the playing pretty damn good Utah Jazz hosting the Phoenix Suns, playing pretty damn shitty. Utah is going to be favored by 15.5 in this game. ESPN's BPI gives them a 93% chance to win the game. Pretty much tells you where we're at here. Devin Booker is likely to miss the game, it says right here. Emmanuel Terry is also likely to miss the game. Raul Neto and Thabo Sefolosha are going to be out for Utah, but that's pretty good. Utah is also, the money line for this game is Utah minus 4,000. So 40-1. 40-1 for Utah to win the game. And ESPN has it at 93%. There have been trade talks that just came out, I think the last 2 or 3 days, that Utah has offered Ricky Rubio and I believe a first-round pick for Mike Conley to the Memphis Grizzlies. Which would pair Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, which would probably give them a really good shot at winning at least one playoff round and maybe even making it 2. So depending on how well Donovan Mitchell plays alongside Mike Conley. Mitchell used to holding the ball a lot. Conley, obviously a traditional point guard. And depending on if he could get better as more of a catch-and-shoot type of a guy, the Utah Jazz would be really scary there. Obviously, along with Derek Favors, Joe Ingles, Kyle Korver. I mean, they're a really good shooting team, really good defensive team. And that game's going to be at 7 o'clock tonight. Two more games on the menu here. We have the Houston Rockets traveling to Sacramento to take on the Sacramento Kings, who I believe have won 3 straight games, maybe even more. For the Houston Rockets, Clint Capella's out. Eric Gordon looks like he's going to be out as well. Sacramento Kings are going to be at full clip in this game. James Harden, though, the X Factor, 44 points in back-to-back games, averaging 37 or so on the season, which is the most since Michael Jordan, I believe, in, 1989 or 87 or something like that. Kobe Bryant averaged 35, I think 12 or 14 years ago. 14 years ago. James Harden having an unprecedented season scoring-wise. The Rockets are going to be favored by 3 on the road in this game against a pretty hot Sacramento Kings team, and ESPN is going to give Houston a 57% chance of winning the game. And the last game of the evening, we have the San Antonio Spurs heading to the West Coast to take on the Golden State Warriors. The Spurs have been on a pretty significant road trip. I'm not sure how many games in a row they've played on the road, 3 or 4. They're going to be without Derek White. DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge both look like they're not going to play. They're going to be game-time decisions, so they may play, but right now it looks like they're not going to play in this one. Golden State's going to be full. They got their entire lineup. Boogie is back and playing well. Kevin Durant seems to be playing fantastic. Steph Curry playing fantastic. They're rolling right now. They look like the best team in the NBA. Golden State's going to be favored by 14.5 in this game, and ESPN gives them a 79% chance of pulling off the victory. All right, so that's going to bring us to the end of tonight. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. Obviously, tomorrow is going to be the trade deadline, so I'm guessing by tomorrow's show we're going to have some decent news to talk about. Let's click on this and see if anything has happened. Okay, officially, it says right here, the Pelicans... Wait. Okay, never mind. The Pelicans are going to sit Anthony Davis until the trade deadline passes, which is tomorrow. So tonight's game, he's not going to play. If he doesn't get traded tomorrow, he'll be playing in their next game. They just don't want to risk anything in that situation. And other than that, it doesn't look like there is any real news coming on right now. Nothing else. Also tomorrow, actually, I guess, which is pretty interesting, we're going to have the NBA All-Star Game draft. For one side, I guess it's the East. I don't know if they're still doing East versus West, but the team Giannis versus Team LeBron in this one. Giannis, I believe, gets first pick and said that he is leaning towards Steph Curry, but that draft is going to be interesting to see what players they pick, albeit, kind of just for fun. It's going to be interesting there. That's going on tomorrow, I believe, at 2 o'clock, around the time of the trade deadline. All right, so that's going to bring us to the end of the show. Like I said earlier, rate, review, subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. On Facebook now, there is an official page for the show, Intelligent Thoughts. You can go ahead and look that up. It's pretty simple. It's got the same picture as just the profile picture for the show in general. Same thing for Twitter, Intelligent Tho1, Intelligent THO1, the number 1, that is. And that's going to be a Twitter handle. I'd love to hear from anybody. Reach out to anyone who wants to talk, has any ideas for the show or any questions or anything like that. I'd love to hear from the fans. And then on Instagram at Intelligent B Thoughts. Intelligent B Thoughts, and B in the middle is the word B. All right, so that is going to be the end of it here. Hope you all have a fantastic Wednesday, and that you hear from me tomorrow, and that I possibly hear from you, and we have some more to talk about. Enjoy the games. I love you.